Good morning, children. Today, in this session, I'm going to talk about lesson 1 of history, that is what, where, how, and when. And the subtopics are meaning of literary sources, types of literary sources, which includes religious, secular, and account of travelers. Talking about sources of history first. Historians depend upon a variety of sources to learn about the past. And there are mainly two types of sources. One is archaeological source, the other one is literary source. Talking about literary source in detail, literary sources are the written records, for example, the manuscripts and the Upanishads. Literary sources are the written records only. So basically, any form of writing written in the past or written document is an example of a literary source. It can be any written story, poem, account of travelers, philosophy, etc. But children, one point to remember here is that literary sources are considered as secondary sources of information in history. And secondary sources means that writing document which is created or written by one, however, it is used by somebody else. And the basic examples of literary sources are manuscripts and inscriptions. Now talking about manuscripts in detail. Manuscripts are the written records of the past. But the question is how these are different from the other literary sources. The answer is these were different from the other literary sources in a way that they were written on palm leaf or on the bark of the birch tree that are mostly grown in Himalayas. These manuscripts were written on all kind of subjects. For example, religion, belief, practices, on lives of kings, science, medicine, etc. And these were written in the languages which were used by the ordinary people. For example, Prakrit, Tamil and Sanskrit. Now the question is why the manuscripts were written on palm leaf or on the bark of the birch tree. So it was because the paper was not invented at that time. However, paper came much later. It was invented by a Chinese in 220 CE. Now, talking about the next important source, which is inscriptions. Children, inscriptions are the writings that are written or engraved on rocks, pillars, wall of caves, temples, coins, etc. These inscriptions give us information about the names and the dates of ancient kings, the important events, the extent of their empires, their lifestyle, culture, etc. And the most famous example of inscription is Allahabad pillar inscription, which is found in Uttar Pradesh. Now talking about the next important types of literary sources, which include secular, religious and accounts of travelers. Taking up the first type, which is religious sources. Children, you have to understand here that all the books which are based on religious themes are religious literary sources. That means the writings that deal with the religion. For example, the 4 Vedas, which were written in Sanskrit, are the oldest religious texts of Hinduism. And other examples include Upanishads, Smritis, Brahmanas, Angs, Upangs, Mahabharat and Ramayana. These are all religious literature. The old religious books of Jains were written in Prakrit language and the Buddhist texts in Pali language. The literature of South India is written in the language of Tamil and Telugu. Now, talking about the next important source, it is secular sources. Secular sources include poetry, plays, stories, travel accounts and studies on ethics. Books, for example, Panchtantra, Dharmashastra, Arthashastra, Abhijan Shakuntalam, all belong to this category. And these sources are reliable and covers all aspects of life. Talking about the third important archaeological source, it is the account of foreign travelers' children. Now humans have always been moving and traveling from one place to another. So, there were many foreign travelers who visited India at different points of time, and many of them wrote their travel experiences. For example, Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador who stayed in the court of Chandragupta Maurya, and he had written a book called Indika. This book, Indika, tells you a lot about the social and cultural life of India at that time. The other examples include Fahim, who was a Chinese traveler, and Ibn Battuta, who came from Morocco, visited during Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign, and he had written a book called Rihla that throws light on geographical, economic, social conditions of that period. So thank you children. This was all for this session.